Welcome back, YouTube. This is part 3. We're defining wealth. We're talking about what wealth means to us. And part of that is, why do we desire wealth? And it's so important to not just get your information from one individual, right? And one of the things that I want to do is share information with people that exists other than just me. And a great book you can read when it comes to wanting to be wealthy and rich is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. If you haven't read it already, I highly suggest reading it. There's great material in there. And one of the things that's outlined in this book is understanding your desire for wealth. And it has 6 parts it goes over, and we're going to talk about it right now. Mind you, this is paraphrased, so make sure you read the book and you get the exact terminology for it, right? But essentially, the first thing is determine the exact amount of money you desire, right? You want to make sure you have pen to paper. This is something I said in an earlier part. It's great to dream build, but what is that number for you? Is it $10 million? Is it $1 billion? Is it $1 million? Figure that number out, right? Put pen to paper. Number 2, determine what you intend to give up in return for this desire. Listen, getting wealth requires sacrifice. You can't just imagine this idea in your heart and think it's just going to happen. The idea of manifestation is important, but faith without works is dead. You have to put the work in order to reach that desired amount that you discovered for yourself. So make sure you're ready to sacrifice something in order to make this money. At minimum, it's going to be your time, because the grind that it's going to take to make that money is going to be real. Number 3, set a date you intend to achieve this amount of money. It's tough, even for me. You constantly want to push out and push out and push out the time you're going to get it. And eventually what you realize is it's just a dollar in a dream for you. You ain't never actually put a date of when you want to achieve it by. Is it by 35? Is it in 5 years? Is it in 1 year? When do you want to get this desired amount of money? And it's so important that you understand if that is a realistic goal. Otherwise, you're just going to be pulling a date out of thin air that ain't really going to help you, and it's not going to get you closer to the goals that you want financially. So make sure you figure out a date that makes sense for the amount of money that you set for yourself. Okay? 4, create a plan and execute it. This is where a lot of us get hung up on. We dream build. We know what we want. We can put a date to it, but we don't come up with a game plan to execute. Take it little by little by little, right? You can't do it all overnight. Start writing the outline. Start saying, what are you going to do to get to where you're trying to get? For me, right, it's a stepwise process, right? I need to build content so I can get customers. And then once I get customers, I need to build a product or service that I can monetize. And once I monetize it, I need to scale it. And in order to scale it, I need to do this. And as I get money, I'm going to invest that money in other things that will help my money and wealth grow. And eventually, after a certain amount of years of doing these things, I'll have the desired amount of money that I put pen to paper for. So what is your plan? You can't just sit there and do nothing. You got to be able to execute. Number 5, write out a clear statement on how you intend to obtain the money and complete your plan, right? This is sort of like your mission statement. This is something that you're going to read daily, because it's going to be important for you to stay motivated during this journey, because guess what? It's going to be hard. And what you'll find out is a good chance that even though you put a plan and you're executing it and you have a date set, you may not meet your date. Now, I'm not telling you think about that immediately, but what I'm saying is, as you're going through this journey, you're going to realize you're going to be making mistakes, trial and error, and you're going to have to make adjustments. And based off those adjustments, you may have to push out your expectations. But that's why it's important to have a mission statement, because that's what's going to give you that energy to keep going when you're struggling in this journey to achieve the amount of money that you set in step 1. And the final step is what I said earlier in the 5th step. read it out loud, feel it internally, make that a part of you, right? You have to truly believe these things. Otherwise, you're just going through the motions, right? These 6 steps are not a go through the motion steps. These are high level steps that anybody can follow to start getting closer to their wealthy dreams. So take them serious. And I know we all want to skip all these things, learn a skill, and think that skill is going to give us all this money. No. The mindset aspect of wealth is so important. So when you bring that in with your desire for wealth, the amount of money you want, and the mindset it takes to get it, you're bridging the gap and you're closing in on what it takes and what it actually takes to make this kind of money that you desire. You need all of these elements. Without all these elements, you're going to have a tough time. So make sure you understand your desire for wealth.
Put that work in. 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 They got to catch up. Cause I'm too fast like you say. Don't put me in no one-on-one, get cooked up. Well done. Came about that low pond, but now I'm swimming with